Well, welcome everyone. Very happy to have you here. My name is Michelle Yasuda, and I wear a lot of hats in the Hendrix world, and one of them is that I'm the program director for the Big Leap Home online programs. And those programs are what support what we're doing tonight. So we're supporting individuals, organizations, and communities in generating agency, connection, and creativity on our shared planet. So one of the ways that we express that is bringing our community together and practicing these amazing Hendrix tools. And so tonight we have two of my favorite people in the world who are going to be sharing one of my favorite tools in the world. So this is a good night and or day or morning wherever you are where you're watching this. And so we've been doing a series on what's called our Restoring Resourcefulness program. And this program is also one of the ways that we express in the Big Leap Home world in for the Foundation for Conscious Living. And so tonight you're going to be learning and expanding your practice of a skill called presencing. And so I want to turn this call over to the two beautiful humans that are going to be facilitating tonight. And so who's going to be going first tonight? Diana. All right. Well, I get to say an appreciation for you. This is a tradition in the Big Leap Bridge world that we hand the call off with an appreciation. And so this is easy for me to appreciate you, Diana. So tonight, what am I appreciating the most about you? I'm looking at your beautiful face with a smile and gentleness and caring and a reservoir of presence
Mm.
that you bring with you wherever you go. And I so appreciate your impeccable commitment to consciousness practices and to being a beneficial presence on the planet. I definitely experience you that way. So I will hand the call over now to you and thank you. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Ooh, I feel warm and gooey now. Ah, all right. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here with you all. Thank you for making time today for presencing. I'm Diana, name's Mizer, and I am a member, as the three of us are, of our Restoring Resourcefulness faculty, where we really hone in on these very specific, just a handful of tools. And I'm a Big Leap coach. Before that, I was a birth worker, and I'm also an herbalist. And I have conscious parenting is one of my loves, although my kids are grown ups now. But I created a conscious parenting program, and I have a group program called Meet the Moment with a seasonal focus and all of the work that we do in the Hendrix. Um, so, yeah, it's my delight to get to live these practices and teach them to others every day. And I'm really excited to be here with my buddy Darlene and to explore presencing. What better time to explore presencing than right now? Uh, and I get to appreciate Darlene, which again, this is very easy and very lovely. Darlene, oh my goodness, you are a, like a radiant kaleidoscope of joy and spunkiness and deep wisdom and tender love. And you have such a curious mind. You reliably show up to as an explorer with me and just blowing my mind with your insights and your own commitment to living full out in expression, and just delighting in the adventure of life. And so I'm so happy I get to do that with you and do this with you tonight. Lucky me.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for noticing. And gosh, I adore you, Diana. I love the way I feel in your presence. I feel I can say anything, be myself no matter what. And I just feel so secure in that you know my heart and I think you do that reliably for other people. You create a space where you said to me early on, I only have friends that make mistakes. And oh my gosh, I don't know why. I like, where have you been all my life? And I love you have such a mama bear. It's such a beautiful, sweet, but ferocious mama bear when it comes to humanity and being there for people that maybe can't speak for themselves. And I also just appreciate your essence, your joy, your playfulness. And the fact I love that we both can laugh at ourselves when we have epiphanies about how we're getting in the way of authentic connection. We can actually laugh about it. And that's such a joy to share that with you. And yeah, and this is, all week when I've been preparing for this, I'm not a singer, but I'm going to sing the song that's been in my head. Every time I think about what am I going to talk about with presencing, first of all, it's so simple. There's 3 steps. And then it's like, oh my gosh, there's so much to say about the benefits and how to use it. But the song goes, presencing, what is it good for? Absolutely everything. That song has been in my head for weeks. So I just had to share that with you. That so hmm. So Diana, would you share what is presencing to you?
Well, what is it not? You just said it was everything, which it really is. Um, I, for me, presencing is like the easiest little shortcut to a shift. I just have to reach for one of these three steps, and I can be on the way to shifting my state and to a closer experience with myself. I think it's a way for me to know myself in the moment to moment, in a very accessible way. And it's the foundation of everything else that we do. I have to learn how to be with myself before I can be with anyone else. And to be able to know what's alive in me when we're doing any of the other tools. Like it really is kind of like, well, begin here.
Right. Go back to one. Well, thank you for sharing that. This morning I was half asleep and I had a little bit of a download and you're gonna see me look because I'm gonna read it. And my download about presencing, because I was getting nervous about how do I convey this? Like, and I was with my nervousness like I would be a close friend on a porch swing, which is one of our presencing invitations. And this download came to me. Diana and I, and hopefully you guys, we want this to be interactive, by the way, and welcome everybody. And we're going to say many words, which we already have, but these words are really meant to point you to the experience of presence. It really is up to you to learn how to come home to yourself. We can show you our map. I just think the words are paltry representations of coming home to yourself. And so what I wrote was, and we commit to returning to presence, weaving those moves throughout the day. That's the benefit. And it's not really how to presence as much as noticing my drift and then shifting back to presence. And where it deeply nourishes and benefits my life throughout the day. And in experiencing it for yourself, I want you guys all to experience it for yourself. And then you get there, and then you have the path, and then we find new paths. And Katie reminds us that we cannot stay present, and that's not even the goal. The goal is to notice your body sensations throughout the day and notice your favorite drift moves. I love helping people, and I love sending positive text messages. That's one of my drifts. Or I love trying to figure something out. So if it takes me out of what I really intend to be doing, I'll notice my drift. I'll often notice a body sensation, and then I'll come back to myself, turn towards easy breaths, open posture, to return to that direct experience with the moment. So we describe love as being with, and presencing is being with who we are and what we are experiencing right here and right now. Life is happening in the present moment. I'm not saying anything you don't know. Yet so many times I'm thinking about the past or the future. Or make, you know what? I notice the more I presence, the more I realize how many stories I make up, because when I presence, the stories dissolve, and I notice my suffering that comes from the stories I make up oftentimes. So presencing allows me to be able to respond to life fully resourced, and sometimes even generating expansion and developing those resources on the spot. When life be lifing, I keep hearing that life be lifing, but I can be presencing. And so that I can go on this ride just feeling more grounded and fully resourced. So that's what a little bit of my download came in. And I wanted to ask all of you, I hope you want to share, because I see people on the screen that have had experiences with presencing. And I would love
Real
to know.
quick, can we get them to practice right now and then you can share
Oh,
what it
good
is?
idea.
Okay.
Yeah, throughout the hour, we want to also interrupt,
Yes.
go into presencing, because that's what I like to do all day is,
Yes.
and sometimes I'll put an alarm on my phone. So right now, if you get comfortable in your chair, move your body in a way that feels comfortable to you.
And so the three steps are breathe easily or find your breath,
Mm,
turn towards, and open your posture.
mm,
And you can, whatever you think of first. Sometimes my shoulders are up to my ears, and I'm like, oh, good time to presence. I'm going to open my posture. And then the breath comes naturally. And then I'm able to turn fully toward what I'm experiencing or feeling. And so, really, it can happen in any order. So, just play with and now try again. Start with whatever you want. Oh, beautiful. Yeah. Hmm. And one more time, try something new for the first. Oh, beautiful. Yes.
mm. Yeah, the turning towards, easy breathing,
Perfect.
open posture.
So yeah, would you like to share with us, because we know you are already using presencing at some. I would love to know how what's presencing to you. You can simply unmute or raise your hand, and we would love to hear from you.
Shall I?
Yes, please, Elena.
Elena.
It's something like I'm new to this, to the presencing, although I've been in touch with reading from Hendrix. But um, yeah, I've been noticing for a long time the need to actually pause whenever there is something happening, and there is so many things happening every day, every moment almost. And often I don't take the time to just pause for a little bit and turn inwards and just be with the discomfort or whatever it is that is happening. So I've been feeling the need of doing that and failing, not doing it. So yeah, this is a neat invitation, because what I want to do and I don't do is just to become quiet, to come to look in and to come back to allow myself to breathe. That's how I've been playing with it, but not a lot. Something in me is resisting taking that pause in the day, because there will be many pauses. Like, I'm pretty sensitive, so there's also things that kind of um, rattle me, or yeah. There will be quite a few pauses during the day. So this is awesome to. It's awesome to remember that it is possible.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
And I'm making up that signing up for this hour is a way for you to commit to more presencing.
Yeah, yeah, it's exactly just to feel that I'm in the right track. Like I knew I was in the right track, but I just for some reason I don't do it. So this is very awesome what you're sharing. Thank you.
Well, one of my favorite, I was like, if, when I die, I want a bench on my favorite hike, and it's going to say, remain lovingly curious. I really want to encourage people to be lovingly curious with yourself. Most of us were taught to be critical. I had a household where I felt most of my attention was what I was doing wrong. So, I mean, I would love it for you to add some loving curiosity to like, oh, I drifted. Look, oh, check me out. I drifted, which I got from Tracy. Like, check me out. I see you. I see that part. And now we're going to presence. We're going to be with it like we would on a porch swing is one of my favorite. So thank you for sharing. Anybody else would like to share their experience? Tracy.
I've been saying, I guess it's like this moment where like there's enough of everything. It's like my mind just clears. And it's like, and when things get all chaotic, it's like, oh yeah, that's right. I'm here. Oh, there it is. And it's just like you know that you're saying that that drift and that that shift back, that drift and coming back to yourself. That's it's always there. That's I think the surprise of presencing for me. It's like, oh, that's right, it's there. It didn't go anywhere.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that. And when you were speaking, Tracy, it reminded me of what's always available to us. I often think about a tumultuous sea, a sea that's just roiling and boiling on top. But if you swim down, sometimes not very far, there's spaciousness and a place where the water is not disturbed. And so I think about that with presencing that, and the cool thing is there's no way to do it wrong, and we don't have to stay calm all the time. There's nothing about presencing that requires us actually to be calm, but it naturally does that for us. It naturally is sort of like, oh, orienting ourselves, and swimming down a little bit and it's through that gentle curiosity. Oh, I see. Oh, here I am. Oh, hi.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I love the image of the sea, because it is like this and like this is turbulent. It's like it's all, but oh yeah, it's still calm here.
And that's us too, right? We're going for all of us. We're going for the whole kit and caboodle.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that rich imagery of the ocean. That's really, yeah, life be happening on the top, and underneath is the truth of who we are and the truth of the present moment.
And we contain multitudes.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. How about anyone else want to share about presencing? And we're going to practice with Darlene's going to guide us with some.
Just a little mini one.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Pamela. Oh, goody.
Yeah, real shortly. I notice when I'm out of presence, whether it's drifting or leaping over the edge, I feel it in my body first in a real tight clenching kind of a way. And then when I look at my breath, I go, oh, I'm holding my breath. So those two together are the clue that I'm out. So what happens is as soon as I do the out breath and allow a nice voluptuous in breath, the full kind that takes 5 or 6 seconds, like Gay likes to teach, and I can feel it up here and then let it all down. That's when I feel that I'm returning to myself. And then I like to tell myself, oh, here I am. Oh, and I'm so glad. How Katie does oh, here you are, and I'm so glad. So yeah, I'm glad I'm really here somewhere. I really wasn't out there leaping off a cliff blindly.
Oh, thank you so much. I love that. presencing is a here I am, and I'm so glad, and no matter what's going on.
Yeah, yeah. And we just can't be in consciousness 100% of the time. So thank gosh we have these easy ways to dip in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of gaze and how he likes to do breathing, yeah, let's do a little mini presencing where we um, invite you to take a slow, leisurely 5 to 6 second belly breath where you're loosening your belly on the in. You can leave your eyes open or closed, whatever you like, and do a slow exhale as if you blowing out a candle across the room, if you like that image. And I invite you to find your own pace for leisurely connected breaths. And as you're taking more breaths, I'm going to invite you to turn towards a sensation in your body. Just notice, no comparisons, no judgment, no need to try to figure it out or understand it. Simply be with that sensation. Now I'm going to invite you to open your posture. Like maybe just imagine generating spaciousness inside yourself and around yourself, your energy field expanding as you open your posture inside and outside. As you continue to take some leisurely connected breaths, I invite you to notice another sensation, a different sensation in your body. Simply be with that like you would a good friend on a porch swing. Nothing to do, nowhere to be. I invite you to open your posture, whatever that means to you, and turn towards that sensation. Now I'm going to invite you to locate your feet. Just feel your feet. Notice where the heel is. Notice where the ball of your foot is. And on your next in breath, breathe up through your feet and exhale out your feet. Turning towards open posture, connected leisurely breaths. So now we're coming for a landing for this presencing move, and thank you for participating. I would love it if anybody wanted to share what that was like for you, or what did you notice? I noticed my feet got happy. I'll just say my feet kind of like, oh, you're paying attention to me, Tracy.
Something, I don't know, this time, the invitation to turn towards, I kind of felt like it was just like this gentle way to pay attention to something that I might have just looked over before. There's just a real gentleness in that to me. And those words for me just felt like such an invitation to just whatever was in that area of towards. It just felt inviting and yummy in my body.
Hmm. It feels yummy to hear you say that. I love that. Yes. Right. Because it's kind of, I mean, it's up to your interpretation. So I love hearing your experience.
I noticed this feeling of like, oh, home, just like, oh, like being, this really is, and I noticed a wish for all beings to find this place of home in themselves, where you feel at home. And
Yeah.
I felt grateful for practicing this enough that I could access it, and it feels like home that I can bring with me.
Coming home to ourselves. Are we anyone with any more shares?
I just felt a rhythmic flow of breathing easily, turning towards, opening my posture, almost like this dance, really slow dance. Like if you see leaves come off a tree, sometimes they'll just float like that. So that's just such a wonderful rhythm of breathing easily, turning towards, open posture, breathing easily, turning towards, whichever order it came in. I loved the rhythm and that flow. Thank you.
Thank you, Pamela.
Um,
Yes,
yeah.
and Lena.
Yes. Yeah. For me at the beginning, it's always a bit difficult. It's like there is a bit of a fight. Um, I'm aware of the tensions that are closing me in different places of my body, little tensions here and there, in my face, so that in different parts of the body, and there is that fear of opening, that fear of kind of trusting and opening, and so I could see that contrast between that and then something more flowy in the belly, where there was kind of like waves of different colors, and there was possibility of movement. But for me, it was clear the contrast.
Mm. Well, I appreciate you noticing that some fear came up and some resistance. That's being with your direct experience. I know, Diana, I don't want to put you on the spot, but you have a way of describing, you said something that was so brilliant about that, how it's having a direct experience with life. It's I don't know, I'm putting you on the spot. I don't know if you remember exactly what you said, but
Oh, well, yeah, that is well, it's a part of my commitment to lifelong learning, is being with myself in each moment that I can remember to do that.
yeah.
And actually, I mean, I credit Katie and Gay for this, just the willingness to be curious, to have the spirit of curiosity, and befriending whatever is in there. I mean, I don't know what's going to be in there. I can't decide ahead of time. It's just it's honing my own ability. And I notice the more I practice, the deeper layers I can notice that then feel hooked into older patterns, and that remind me of this, or that help me kind of pull on the strands of the things that get in the way of me being in full presence. And then I have sort of almost like a muscle memory or a body based kind of taste of what that is, and then I can tune into that a little bit faster. My brain is slower than my body, which is part of what's so amazing about the focus that Gay and Katie have had on these somatic practices, because the body gives us, it's just a straight shot to information. And so I appreciate that. I don't know if that's what I said, Darlene, but that's
Thank
what I'm
you.
saying now.
I love that. Well, and at this point, I would love it if you shared you have
Oh,
such an amazing story about bringing in presencing when a big life experience happened.
yes, I would. Yes. Would you like to settle into a story time? Because this is a big story, and it's a story that I do feel like it does not belong to just me. So I had the great joy of traveling to Italy with my family in August, and it was a big leap. It was a big leap. And of course, we know what happens with big leaps and upper limits and things like that. So I had been practicing expanding my capacity for good feeling and positive energy and relaxation before I left, because I knew that it was a little bit of an edge for me. And all the things of getting ready to go, all the things. Well, we got to Florence after an overnight, flight. We were a little discombobulated. We were getting ready to get into our appointment, or our apartment, and there was a little cafe. There was nobody on this street. Somehow, in the kerfuffle of something, when we were getting ready to go after we ate, my purse was nowhere to be found. So here's an important note. This trip was, we are not wealthy, and it was kind of a big leap to go there. And there was about $2,000 in cash in my purse that I had not separated out yet, that the person that we were staying in the villa the week after wanted cash. So I didn't actually just have cash at the ready. That was a big bummer. Okay. So, and not only did it have $2,000 in cash, it had my phone, my passport, it had everything. It had everything in it. And as it was dawning on me that that everything was gone, my stomach kind of lurched, I had and I could feel, I don't know if you've ever had this experience before, I could feel all the blood run from my face. I felt just sort of and my husband, the way I remember it, he remembers it different, but I remember him being like, well, what the hell, Diana, how did it, I'm like, I don't know. Then to him, I'm like, well, shit, you were here the whole time too. I felt like there was never somebody not here. I mean, I just went to go see if Lilia needed blah, blah, blah. And so there was the beginning of this kind of a thing going on. And then I had been practicing my expanding my capacity for good feelings, and I could feel how off that was. And I was like, well, I can't, that's not going to help us get anywhere. And that's just going to add more torture. So they reported the purse was stolen. And then I dropped in. I don't know how I did the press thing. I could feel myself getting tense like that. And then I turned to, I thought I need to turn fully, and I could feel myself wanting to sort of disassociate too, I'm like, but I turned fully toward my beloved self, like, oh, honey, I was mad. I had things that could have happened, but I just was like, oh, and then I got genuinely curious, like, I wonder what's going to happen. And my mind went like, I don't have that cash. Ooh, I wonder, oh, maybe I'm going to have to go home. Maybe I'll have to, I don't know, maybe there's somebody I'm supposed to meet at the embassy. I started to actually just get friendly of this way of like, well, I'm not dying. Something might happen. I don't know what it is. And because we practice this coming up close with the unknown, I had an ability to be with the unknown. And then I would get a little scared again, and then I would come back to that place. And so while this was all happening, my younger daughter said, Mom, I see your phone. I see the dot. It's moving on. We need to report your phone is stolen. So she sees that my phone is there. And my older daughter and her boyfriend, my older daughter is 6 feet tall. He's 6'6". And they just took off like a shot. They took the Find Your Phone app. They ran down the streets of Florence, over the Arno River, through this courtyard where there was the statue of Justice. I can't make this up, with the blindfold on and the scales and the sword. Like literally, they were like, "What's that? Oh, what?" And so anyway, and they get to where the phone is, and they're like, and I'm on the phone canceling my credit card, my debit cards, and like trying to deal with that end. And coming back, and again, each time freaking out, like, shoot, what are we going to do? And then coming back to, it's unknown. Something's going to happen, but I got to tell you this. I didn't actually feel the amount. I mean, I felt sick inside, but I also I kind of got curious to how this was all going to work out, because I know I wasn't dying. Something's going to have to happen. I just don't know what. And anyway, so they end up looking for the purse. They ask a guy about it. If they've seen this brown purse, the guy says, no, I don't know. You can look across the street. They walk into this restaurant. My purse is on the counter. So they opened it up. Inside was my phone, my passport, and all of the money. All of it. So I feel like the story is like the miracle of the stolen purse, because it actually hadn't occurred to me that the way that this would work out was the purse coming back with all my money in it. I did not, I, and what was really interesting, the takeaways for me, it was gone for about 20 minutes, and that could have been 20 minutes of sheer hell, but I had made a commitment to myself that I didn't want to spend time there. And so through the present thing, I was able, and curiosity, I was able to come back to curiosity, come back to softness. And actually now it's just this great story. But I learned, I really feel like the present thing, no, probably just, it saved us so much. My daughter at one point, the one that was with me, said, Mom, why are you not freaking out? Like, basically, like, how are you not, And, but I felt like I had just gone deep into that home within myself, or the part of the ocean that was not on the whole, this part. And that I had realized that if it's too far ahead, I can't know. I couldn't figure it out from here. And my job was to be with myself in this moment, which is what that, and I realized through the presencing practice, like, that's enough. It's actually enough to be with myself in this moment without having to figure anything else out. But what a friendly resolution. So that's your story. And I want people to know it, because it's like the impossible was possible. It didn't even have to be that painful, because of, coming back using these tools. And of course I would have, but wait, what about this? And oh no, what about, oh, my phone, I'm not going to have, but then I would just turn toward and notice, oh, I feel that in my chest. Oh, I can feel my stomach's just, roiling. And it became a way for me to train my attention onto myself instead of onto my fears. Yeah. So anyway.
I love that because it's from conscious leadership, I believe, but Michelle turned them into I statements to check whether we're in presence or not. Is one of them is I'm open to possibilities. So that's what I'm hearing from you is, and I know I'm a meaning making machine, and who knows if it's true, but I thought when I heard Diana tell me the story, I said, who knows how that your grounded presence, even if you were going in and out of presence, how that affected your daughters and your husband. I made up a story that if you guys had been like, why didn't you see somebody take my purse? Well, why weren't you more careful? Who knows what energy that would have rippled to the daughters that may not have also come up with a solution. We don't know that, but our energy does affect others. And I like to make up, because I want presence to be the hero, that it affected the whole situation. Maybe, even the purse, who knows?
Well, it was also the combination. What I think is so brilliant about this is the tendency that my mind has, at least, to go into what I got to do something, or I got to know the thing.
Yeah.
And presencing is not that. And there was nothing I could have done or known. In fact, my presencing allowed me to be receptive to actually countering some really deep patterns of, I have to do it myself. I couldn't have done it myself. It actually required my kids. How cool is that? Like, I wouldn't have even thought of that. And then, like, I gave up pretty easily. I would have never thought that was going to happen. I just, like, what are the chances you're going to get that back? I wouldn't have even gone after it. But my young gazelle children were so persistent, and we think that's, that basically the thief dropped it because they didn't want to have to deal with them. Yeah. But anyway, feel free, anyone who wants to say anything. I know that's a big, and now it's your story that you can tell, that the impossible can be possible. And even when things feel so chaotic, it's possible to come back to presence and yourself, and to make it okay. I was kind of surprised at myself, but I didn't make myself have to stay there, but I knew I could just keep going there. And each time, each little presencing move added up to 20 minutes of not so much, not added suffering.
Yeah, added suffering. I like that. Ooh, with that, I'm going to guide us into another presencing move. And just that you heard that big story. I don't know what your body was doing or what your emotions, what story, if you were imagining it, or I'm gonna invite you to get comfortable. And again, let's either eyes open or closed or a soft gaze, whatever you choose. And take a leisurely breath with your belly loose on the in and a leisurely out. I like to call it an oxygen cocktail. Just and invite you to place your attention on what interests you most in your body right now, and turn towards that as you continue leisurely breaths, being with being with yourself. What interests you most in your body right now? Open your posture. Hmm. Notice if there's a texture or a shape or a color as you continue to breathe. There may be and there may not be. Breathe easily. Open posture. Turn towards. Hmm. Now I want you to notice, just place your attention on the top of your head. Hmm. Breathe easily. Open posture and turn towards. As you come in for a landing, maybe move your body in a way that it wants to. Oh, I noticed I got tense shoulders hearing your story. And now I feel more space. I love that. I feel more spaciousness. And my eyes, I feel like my eyes are open wider and I can see colors more bright. Wow, look at the time. This is having a good time hanging out and chatting with you guys.
We'd
What would
love
you?
to open up for you to unmute if there's anything you want to share or ahas when you're listening to that, or remembering a time that you used presence and you didn't maybe even notice that that's what you were doing. Or whatever you how you might like to receive attention or just add to our exploration of presencing.
Yeah.
I'll just throw something out there. I recognized myself in that story, and the fact that I return to presence more often than I thought I do, because I like being measured and balanced in moments of sheer panic, except for when it's high winds in the sailboat. Then it's hard to be in presence. It comes back, but it's hard. So what I'm thinking is, yeah, I want to amp it up a bit with a little bit more intentionality to practice that feeling of expansion in presence.
Mm.
Because I had
Yeah.
a similar thing when things get lost. Okay, just breathe. It's going to show itself up. However long it's going to take, it'll show itself up. And I could feel that whole thing happening for you, Diana. I could feel your whole presence and as you told the story, the whole opening of it, the whole hmm, what might be possible here? Hmm, well, I'll just turn over whatever's next. And the 6-foot children running down the street, right? And you're on the phone reporting the lost purse and all the synchronicity that happened. I could feel it in your story. So thank you for sharing that. It
Oh,
really brought me into presence with you as you shared it.
oh,
Thank you,
Yeah.
Pamela. And when you are sharing, it's reminding me that the big difference in how I am learning to show up with myself and for myself is by not suppressing anything. So I didn't try to make myself stay calm. I actually, and that opens the space. What more wants to be felt or seen or could come through? Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for reminding me of that. I appreciate that, Diana, because the thought that came to mind was when I was in Japan recently with my family for 3 weeks, and there were some tensions around what early in the morning means as defined by the five of us. And so I allowed the fact that I felt sad about the tension and I let myself cry, which was present. That was how it was in that particular moment. Yeah.
I love it.
And then I,
Beautiful. That is turning toward and it's
yeah,
opening the posture. It's both of those things I think that can really
yes,
allow our tears to then
yeah.
beautiful. Oh,
Yeah. And then I went to sleep because I was also coming down with some virus, I don't know. And I went to sleep and I woke up the next morning. I said, okay, so how are we going to plan this day
yeah.
with my,
Oh,
like this, right? Yeah. So it's like I just let it go. I cried, whatever. It's okay. It'll all work itself out.
Oh,
We're not the first family that's
yeah.
experienced tension while
right.
traveling, and we
Yes.
won't be the last.
It's the, to me, Pamela, what you're describing is the power move, which it took me a long time to learn. I learned to suppress that, and that it's nothing to cry about. You're making too big of a deal about this. And it's amazing to me what actually the transformative power of turning fully toward being fully with, welcoming more of. Oh, it really is the power move. Thank you.
Yeah, that's one of the benefits of presencing. They say being with a feeling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Yeah.
describing that. And I'm
Yeah.
in the
Thank you.
I'm gonna in the chat. I'm putting presencing invitations, and you could do it with yourself or a friend. When you do the turning towards easy breaths, open posture, it's really fun to guide people into any one of those. You could download it if you like. Um, it's I used a couple of them when I was doing the presencing with you, so I wanted to share that with you, a little gift that some of you already have. Presencing invitations. So it's a yes. So play with that if you like.
Darlene, it was occurring to me also as Pamela was speaking, that this might be a time to talk about what we were talking about of what we offer when we bring our presence, what that does for another person.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks. I was reading the description of what we were doing here. I'm like, oh, it's presence with another. How do I presence another person or be with, and which is a lot. It's that place attention on the other person, place attention on me, and which we call loop of awareness in the Hendrix world. And even when we're talking, I invite you to check in with yourself, body sensation. And to me, it's a muscle we're honing. I can check in with myself as I'm listening to Pamela. Notice what's going on with me, what's going on with Pamela, what's going on with the group, what's going on with me. So yeah, recently my little granddaughter was born in August, and I went over there to spend time with the 2-year-old brother and her. And the 2-year-old brother, the mom took him off to nap, and little baby Georgia, I was holding her and just was in heaven, osmosing her just joy and innocence and new life. And she started to get fussy, started to cry. And at first, I really noticed my knee-jerk reaction was, "Oh no, don't cry! Why are you crying? Oh, what can I do?" But thank goodness for the Hendrix tools and practicing so much, I noticed that compression that Pamela, you had different words for, but that compressed feeling in my body. And I said, "Oh," and I just took a leisurely breath, and I was just saying, I'm here with you, whatever's going on. I was actually speaking it out loud, like, I'm here with you, all your feelings are welcome. And and so I was just, and it really happened. I wasn't expecting her to stop crying, but she did. And she just started breathing easily. And I really do think she entrained to my breath. But it's interesting that, like, we all bring different contexts And Katie says, we can be that pup tent of presence and of essence wherever we go. We could be the bigger energy in the room if you want to put it in those terms. But so I feel like I first entrained to Georgia's upset, and then I entrained to my own essence and my own presence. And I feel like she borrowed that nervous system. And then, so I held her for a while and was rocking her. And then it happened like 3 times. And I said, I bet you're hungry. Are you hungry? Said, Mama's with your brother. He's going to be here soon, but let it out, whatever you need to do. And I did the breathing again. And I really paid attention to how relaxed my body was. I really wanted to participate in relaxing the muscles of my body. And she definitely stopped crying again. And so it was really magical. And I was really appreciating this, that I can help a little baby, maybe, not that there's anything wrong with being upset, but I do feel like it would have amped up if I would have like, oh, stop crying. Oh my God, I'm so upset. What can I do? What do you need? So that was my little presencing another person. I like to call it presencing another person's experience too. If somebody is, I notice what's underneath their words, what's their posture, and I sort of think, I imagine that I'm creating a huge space for them to just have their experience. And I was telling Diana, it's just an imagination. I use my imagination, like I'm choosing to be with you in this experience, and I'm also looping with myself. And I would say 99% of the time, something magical happens. And the person will be like, oh my gosh, I just made a connection that I've never made before. Or, I just connected a dot, or I just noticed I feel more relaxed. And so I love presencing another person's experience. And that's a little taste of that.
Yes,
And
and that it has real, humans. There was this place about the child on the playground who gets hurt and goes to their mother, like that human beings have this innate ability to self-heal. We get a cut, we heal. And one of the things I love about Gay and Katie, they talk about trauma, but they also know that there's, and that's what I've called on with the purse. There's no way I can be diminished. What I am is here. I cannot be diminished by anything. But I realize that healing, we are also not an island. We are also not just completely independent. And so you'll notice the impulse very early on. If you've seen a child get hurt on the playground and they just have a whack, you're like, oh, that hurts. But they don't cry. They don't say anything until they get to their mom. And when they get to their caregiver, then it all comes out. And so there is this innate quality of healing in the presence of another caring, compassionate individual. And Georgia did borrow your nervous system. It's called entrainment. It does actually, we affect each other in this way. And I just as science has come out to prove everything Gay and Katie have done, as there's a basis now for it, this I know will be the next thing. There's a mycelial network or something that happens between us humans, that we are connected and we affect each other. And our presence really impacts the field in beautiful ways.
thank you, Diana. Yeah, I love that story too. I'm going to put something else in the chat. It's the Presence Connect Play app, which I highly recommend. Yes, Pamela, you have experience with it. Highly recommend downloading this app, and you will learn fun ways to presence and connect and play. And you keep hitting it, and so it reminds you of different presencing moves. I like to put it on again. I like to put it on my phone twice a day and just hit it and see what it says. And one of my very favorite. I know this has helped me rewire a lot of my, I would say, old story, victim, feeling unresourced, powerless, is the harmonizer. And the harmonizer, they opened it up to be no cost. It's a guided meditation. It's 20 minutes. Gay and Katie alternate. And I've done this hundreds of times, and I know it's helped me. The muscle of coming home to myself it happens kind of, what's the word you use, Diana? Kind of effortlessly, or I go into it before I even realize I'm going. I don't have to consciously go into presencing. And I love to get in the recliner, put my mask on, and listen to the harmonizer when I wake up, when I go to bed. If you're feeling stuck or you're feeling even lonely or just out of sorts, I highly recommend turning on that harmonizer. And the chat's in the link. And if you don't want to do it that way, you can always find it on Foundation for Conscious Living.
Yeah, Darlene, I think the word I used was muscle memory, and
Oh, yeah, muscle memory. That's it.
I really think that, you know, with the Restoring Resourcefulness community, we just deeply, you know, study and do, you know, each of these tools over and over again. And I do recommend, just on a sticky note, you know, breathe easily, turn toward, open your posture, and just experiment with it for a week. And what happens is when I consciously do it, then what I've noticed is now all of those things are linked, which is really cool because we have to breathe to stay alive. So the more when I intentionally breathe, then I naturally start to open my posture and be fully with or turn toward what's here. So I do recommend, even though I know you know what those components are, you know, having a little sticky note and practicing them in that order, in different order, because they start to link up. And you start wherever you are, you open your body posture, you breathe easily, you turn toward, or you just find yourself turning toward and suddenly your breath starts to fill in. So that's one of the magic things about presencing to me. So I invite you to play with, see if it's magical for you, or maybe it's already doing that magic in you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so as we come in for a landing, I would ask you to get curious about an action step, about maybe noticing your favorite drifts. I think you can make up your own action step. That's just one invitation. What are your favorite drifts? And then what's your prompt to come back to presence? And just note, so then you have a reliable track record. And what I want to do, and like we like to do on these calls, is would love everybody to unmute and celebrate yourself for showing up today. Celebrate yourself for choosing self-care. I'm going to make up that you were choosing self-care and wanting to be maybe easier in the world. You know, life be lifing, but we can be easier with it. We can ride with it. We can be underneath. So let's all unmute and do some woohoos, whatever way you like to celebrate. Thank you for being here. I had so much fun with all of you. Woohoo!
Thank you, Pamela.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tracy, Mary. Good to see you, Mary. Thank you, Elena, for sharing.
Yeah, thank you. Good to meet you, Elena.
You too. Thank you so much.
Celebrate yourself. Give yourself some good old love scoops. Presence, connect, play, breathe, move, love.
Yes.
Yeah, as we move into all the adventures of our family and the parties and the darkness and the coldness and the weather and the things that are happening. How, you know, what a wonderful time to bring this tool to the fore of our attention. So.
And if you're on Mighty Network, please share any experiences. Would love to connect with you all. Thank you for being here. Really, really, truly appreciate your presence.
Thank you. Thank you, Darlene. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Diana.
Thank you, everyone.